We are?
We're live.
We think we're on. If you can see us, we are on and we are live. Wednesday already.
I know it's flying by this week.
Every week flies by. How cold was it this morning?
It was chilly. Not now though, I've just been out on viewings, it's lovely.
It felt like September morning, which is quite nice for the heat actually.
It is.
My little baby has not been enjoying the heat, so hopefully...
Not sleeping.
Yeah, we have to have a fan on and it's like blasted all night. So this week we wanted to talk about sort of the news and what's being portrayed by the media and the news outlets and all the negativity, and then we want to share what we're seeing here on the ground. So what we're going to talk about is what's happened over the last few weeks, what's happening now, so this week, and what we're seeing in the diary for the next few weeks. So I'll start with the past few weeks and you can do now.
Yeah.
So past few weeks, middle of July, it's definitely quietened off. So we went from a very busy June into a fairly busy start to July, and then suddenly it went quiet. And it happens every year. We had an email from Rightmove yesterday which said that property sales or property agreements, so a sale agreement was down 1.2% this August compared to last August. And last year was, as you know, was a ridiculous year where it never seemed to stop. So actually 1.2%, and it said that we're still well up on all previous years. So although it might seem a little bit quieter, it definitely did for us for a few weeks. Actually, the stats say it wasn't, and it actually happens every year. The Lakes, as you've seen, is basically a traffic jam. We had a heat wave, people go on a holiday, everybody's away right now.
Kids.
Yeah, and all this comes together to mean that actually the market quietens down a bit. But what tends to happen in those periods is you sell the quirkier properties, or the ones that were maybe sticking a little bit longer. They seem to attract interest in the quiet times, which is interesting.
Come out the woodwork.
Yeah. So yeah, we were maybe starting to think it was a slowdown, or I mean, the amount of times that's happened over the last couple of years, it's led to nothing. But the appointments we were going to were still great. We still got some beautiful homes coming soon. So what we're seeing this
so
week?
that leads to now, so what we're seeing at the moment, and following on from what Phil said, we do see that dip, particularly in viewing numbers, more than anything. What we're seeing now, and even like from me this morning, is viewings do start to pick up. So it normally happens as we approach sort of the bank holiday weekend. I don't know why that is, it just seems to be notoriously what happens. So we start getting a lot more inquiries, a lot more phone calls, a lot more interest in the different homes. Probably as people are starting to plan ahead, thinking, right, all the kids are going to be going back soon, we need to get back focused on finding our dream home or a second home. Or what I tend to find happens at this time of year is you get a lot of the people that have been here on holiday and thought, God, it's amazing, we'd love to live here. And
The weather's always like this.
yeah, it's always fantastically sunny in the lakes and there's always so much to do. And so you get a lot of the holiday makers that then have decided that actually, rather than, Airbnb or whatever, they'd like to get their own sort of bolt hole or somewhere to have for themselves here. So we're getting a lot more inquiries now for people looking for those types of homes. Something that can be a bolt hole, second home, easy to manage, that kind of thing. It's definitely now that we start to get a lot more inquiries coming through, and then that obviously has a knock-on effect to viewings going up. So we're certainly seeing at the moment viewing numbers on the rise, and then subsequently leading to offers and sales.
It's actually tough to get viewings in at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Really.
Because obviously when, as you said, people come up to stay and they want to view, they've got a short window, small windows where they can view, and it's actually quite difficult. We're trying to manoeuvre the diaries around as much as possible.
We get a lot of, don't we? Oh, we're going home on Monday. Can we get in by then? And
we've got 25 minutes before we go home. Can we see it? So we're trying our best to manoeuvre the diary and make sure we can fit these viewings in. But they're definitely on the up.
Yeah.
What we see happen in the next few weeks, looking at the diary, viewings are still on the up. They're definitely the market is definitely returning to what it's going to be sort of late June, July. So if you are on the market, if you are thinking about going to market, it is going to be a good time. If you're thinking about when the best time is for you, or you know someone who's thinking about selling, what we can almost almost guarantee is the next 2 to 3 months. A quarter, we can usually see a pattern. So we can almost guarantee the next 2 to 3 months will be good. After that, we can't guarantee. I mean, we're hopefully in a little bubble here in the lakes where, and in the Dales where people always want to move here and they want to invest money, and buying property now is quite a safe thing to do. As interest rates go up, as the rest of the costs fly up, hopefully money in properties is a pretty safe bet, especially here in the lakes. So we expect maybe the numbers in terms of the amount of people buying homes next year may drop a little bit, but we're not expecting any massive thing. And the word recession obviously is this big scary word that we were going through in the team yesterday, and there's been some major ones over the last 20, 40 years, but actually the term recession, I'm sure you know, it just means 2 quarters of negative growth, and as inflation shows, the growth has been so dramatic over the last year, 18 months, 2 years, that it's got to stop, it's got to reduce slightly. So when they say the recession's on the way, a recession might be on the way, but that, I mean, I think GDP grew by 0.1% this quarter, so that's almost break even, almost. It could very easily have been a recession had the, I think it was 2 certain industries, one was tourism, that was up, that made GDP grow. So it could have easily been a recession this month, yet we're still seeing things flying out. We've got best and finals, we've got all sorts. So even if the following quarter we do see it as planned, and by the way, these plans have not been great over the last 2 years, it isn't necessarily terrible news for the economy, terrible news for the property market, but it's a big scary word that I think maybe news outlets don't explain properly, and people see it as just pure doom, and actually it may just be a 0.5% or 0.2%, whatever it may be, reduction and slowing down that needs to happen, because it can't keep going as it is, otherwise nobody will be able to afford anything.
Stuck, wouldn't we?
Have you seen the price of butter?
You keep saying about butter.
I can't believe it. No, I don't eat bread anymore, but that's one of the reasons.
How much are you eating butter?
£4.50 for just a tub of butter.
It's pricey.
Used to be. So if you're thinking about opening a company, butter is the way to go.
Well, it's obviously costing a lot to make butter, maybe.
Why?
I don't know, cows.
I think that they've just thought, they've all got together on the phone and said, do you make butter? Let's put the price up.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. If that Phil Jones wants to eat bread, he has to pay for the butter. And that's what's happened.
Well, bread people need to cotton on, don't they?
No, nobody else needs to cotton on. Just relax. It's good. Any questions about any of this, or if you know anyone, or if you're thinking about selling your unique home in the Lakes of the Dales in the next 3 to 6 months, then give us a call. We can answer any questions, even if it's just an information gathering exercise. We can help out. We have plenty of those, and that's what we're here for. So enjoy the cold yet sunny weather, and we'll speak to you next week.
See you next week.